Hey up, welcome to Matt's Mindful Meals. We're out in the woods tonight and I'm going to be setting up my hammock. Dave's going to be setting up a new teepee that he's had through, and Mo's going to be setting up a hammock a little bit later when he gets here. So it's a little bit of a reunion of the Goonies, and it'll be the first camp we've done since the end of last year, the end of last year in Christmas time. So tonight I'm going to be cooking steak with some massive prawns. And I'm going to be doing it on the Firebox Freestyle, hopefully. And I think Dave's going to be doing some kind of chicken tikka burgery thing. So you'll get a look at that a little bit later as well. So stick with us. I'll get this hammock set up and then we'll have a go at Dave's teepee. So I'll catch you later. See you in a bit. Draw heart. So more or less done. So there's my setup for tonight. The DD XL hammock and also the DD underblanket and the DD 3.5 meter tarp. Just got a basic ground sheet on the floor just to keep basically all of the detritus off your feet. That's a big word, but it just means old pine cones and stuff. Then move over to Dave's. He's got a one Tigris, I think it's a TL Nova teepee that he's trying out tonight. So that'll be interesting. But this little bit behind us here, we're going to put Mo in there in a little while. So I'm going to get a brew on, which I'll show you in a few seconds of that because it's with a new stove that I've got. So I'll see you in a sec. So it's finally arrived. These are like rocking horse doodah to get hold of. It's the Toaks Siphon Alcohol Stove. Now remember when I first got this, and when you turn it into like the small fire torch where it's just the 3 panels on the Freestyle, a Trangia won't fit in it, but it's the perfect size for the Toaks Siphon alcohol burner. So I'm going to give it its first burn. So it's literally arrived about 10 minutes before we set off. So it's an open one. It's got tiny little holes all around the outside. So I'll give that a shot and I'll make a cup of tea while we finish setting up Mo's hammock because he's just arrived. So yeah, it fits in perfectly for this. You can use it as a Swedish torch, but as I say, I wanted to give this a shot. I'll be cooking with this later with wood, but I'll probably be using the 8 panels. I've got something special planned for tea. So get my mug ready. Little stick. Straight away. So, get a brew on for me and Mo. So yeah, catch you later. It's time to get tea on the go. So I've using all of the panels of the Firebox Freestyle. So that's all 8. So this is like the fire pit 8. Now I've got it up on a couple of bricks, and I've got a piece of foil underneath so that the ash isn't going to fall away and damage my table. But this is just so it's a little bit easier for me to cook with. So I'm going to get it lit. So hopefully this bark will get going. Then I can get on my firelighters. It's everybody's favourite bit of birch bark, that is. So I'll let this fire get established, and I'll bring you back when I start cooking. So these 2 giant skewers, these can be used to hold the grills in place, but I've come up with a nicer idea that I'm going to use for today. Oh yes. So I've got the steak. That's got salt and pepper on, which is my favourite thing really for putting the salt and pepper on steak. I think it makes you get the taste of the steak then. I'm going to make a few of these big prawn skewers. And then the veg I've got, got some fine beans and asparagus. And that's going to be boiled in my little pot. Go with it. And the prawns, they've got sweet chili sauce on. Right then, so the fire's going really nice now. Need to get these on the boil. As soon as that gets halfway to boiling, then we'll start cooking the steak and the prawns on here. So that, I won't be putting any more wood on now. I'll just let that drop down, and should be good. I'm really looking forward to it. So I'll see you in a bit. And there's Dave cooking his chicken tikka burgers. How are you doing, Dave?
Chicken tikka naan bread. Should we see if there's a sizzle?
Yes, have a see if there's a sizzle. I'm ready. Go! Yes, can't beat a sizzle. Nice. Warm, Dave?
Yeah, a little bit.
I think we're ready to put the steak on now. Here we go. Lovely. Don't want to cook it too quick. Nice and gentle. These are almost coming to the boil, and I don't want them cooked too much because I like them when they're a little bit, they call it al dente, don't they, when they're a little bit hard to the touch. Yeah, so you can see here, I've got the titanium nano, and I'm using that new alcohol stove in there, and it's working really well. As you know, those who've been with me before, you'll know that I really like using my Trangia burners because they mean something to me because I've had them for a long time. But yeah, this is really good, and it doesn't weigh anything at all, so in conjunction with everything, it's really good so far. I've brought you in a little bit closer so you can see the steak on its first turnover. That's it. Cooking nice and gently. I'll move these over a bit. Oh, metal skewers. Bit hot. Time to turn the prawns over. So I've put my gloves on now because these skewers obviously transfer the heat a little bit more than a wooden skewer. So last thing I've got to do is chop the chilli up for the chilli and garlic butter. So just get that done. It's a nice hot red chilli. And with the knife that you saw in the last video, which is purely for chopping food, not for chopping wood or anything. So it's called a chef's knife. I think the clue's in the name. It's not a bushcraft knife or anything, but I tell you what, it's laser sharp. But I've ordered a knife a while ago, a bushcraft knife that I can do fire sticks and basically anything that you need to do while you're out and about. It's taken a while, but it's finished and it's on its way to me, so it won't be too long until you get to see that. And hopefully in the summer, when the weather gets a bit better and I get a bit better, we'll be able to get out and do some bushcrafty things. I love my cooking, don't get me wrong, but I like getting amongst it and doing a bit of everything. Anyway, so this is butter and garlic that I did at home earlier on. So just get it in here and I can start to melt it over the top of my steak. Temperature's dropped quite a bit now. Still not going to be cold tonight. I think it's probably going to get down to about 2 or 3. But yeah, better than a few months, about a month ago when me and Dave slept out at a lock. It was like -4 easily. The lock was freezing and it completely frozen over. And all you could hear all night was the lock creaking. Quite eerie. Anyway, let's get some of this butter on top of this steak. I'm going to say it. Oh yes, this is going to be lovely. Go. Okay, so I think everything's ready now. So I'm going to plate up and I'll show you what it looks like on there from a different camera in a minute. But let's take the steak off. I don't want to lose any of those chilies. Wow. Give me a second. See how easy these come off, I'm not sure. quite easy actually. Next one. Now it's to strain the veg off a little bit. You know what, I might put the asparagus on here just for a few seconds. Yes. Ooh. Strain the beans. Ooh. Last piece of asparagus on there. Oh yeah. Just going to pinch a prawn before I take any photos. Ooh, they're good. So, fine green beans, Sweet Chilli King Prawns, Garlic and Chilli steak, and grilled asparagus. Well, that's me at me tea, and as you've seen from that photograph, I think there's about 3 or 4 beans I just couldn't manage. I did end up giving a bit of steak to Dave and Mo with some prawns and all. I don't know if Dave had any of the asparagus. Anyway, I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. The cooking the steak on that grill the way it was really worked, and especially putting butter on every now and again. It yeah, it made it really like tender. Anyway, enough of me gabbering on. We've got to clean the burn the camp up, then have a couple of beers. So there you go, completely dark now. So I'll just show you the inside of my hammock, how I get it set up. Got my little chair there, I'll move that a bit later and put my clothes on it. But I always have little fairy lights on. So just, for hardly any battery power at all, it does throw out quite a bit of light. So, see here, I've got a Rab Ascent sleeping bag, and it's the 1100 because I'm quite a cold sleeper, so I get quite cold easily, so I do like a thicker sleeping bag. And I've got a little canister here, little North Face canister with spare batteries in, tick keys, or a little bit of first aid kit. But yeah, this is where I'm going to be kipping later. Maybe 2 pillows. But right now, it's time to go and get a beer. Chat to you soon. Good morning. So you can see we've got the brew on. It's time to get a brew warm. It really went cold in the night. It probably dipped just below 0. Not too much more than that, but it was quite cold, but that new sleeping bag nailed it. Anyway, so I'll get this brew and I'll bring you back when I've got some bacon and eggs on the go. Breakfast time. So, just simple bacon and eggs this morning. Because it's not much better than that. I've tried porridge a few times, but it's not quite the same, is it? I've had kedgeree, that's good. But I think there's nothing for the simpleness of bacon and eggs. Can't really beat it. So let's see whether it's hot enough, this pan. Only just. It'll be all right. There's no rush, is there? There we go. Remember, don't leave any rubbish lying around. Anyway, this is going to take a while. So, see you in a bit. So while you've been away, we've taken camp down. Mo's gone because he's got to do some DAV stuff this morning. Dave's just putting his tent away, but I've collapsed the tarp away, put that gone. But the little sausage cover that I use to cover over the hammock actually fits the under blanket in it as well, so as you can see it's on the floor there. So all the DD stuff apart from the tarp is all in the same thing, so I'll roll that up and may fit in the hammock bag itself, and then that'll be really handy. So I'm quite impressed with that. Anyway, bacon's the best part done. Time to get the eggs in. So move this over to one side. Might need a little bit more oil for these eggs. I'm only going to do one, to be honest. Yeah, it's been a nice camp. Made some little lanterns last night, just for something I'm going to do on a course I'm doing in a few weeks. Just to see how they worked, and they worked quite well. So I was happy with that. Let's get this egg on. Rubbish bags over there. I'll do nicely. And my magic trick that you've seen before, just keeps a bit of that heat in. It is quite cold where we are. Reminds me I've got a cup of tea somewhere. So yeah, as I said earlier on in the video, subscriptions have gone a lot quicker this week. So that's a big thanks to EnglishWoodsman and OscarOutdoors. So cheers, gents. I'll see you soon. And yeah, it's been quite good. Anyway, quick drink of coffee. Because I'm hoping to get to the 500 point. Because at the 500 point, I can then ask people what they want to do, or say like have a mystery week, like they give me like 4 ingredients and have to come up with something from that. I think that'll be a bit of a challenge. It's quite interesting. Yeah, it's just about making things a bit different. So I really enjoy doing this. Let's have another look at these now. Yeah, still some way to go. But yeah, it's nice. Okay, moments of truth. So let's have a look. Happy days. Crispy bacon. This is definitely going to set you up for the day. Now, where are you on red or brown? To me, it's always brown on a bacon butty. Always. The wife and kids, they're definitely red. Don't understand that, but hey. So, bring it to show you. Bacon and egg butty. Champion. Right then, we're all packed up. We've had a good check around, made sure that the fire's out. No rubbish left around, and we're going to dump all that on the way home. So it's been a great weekend from us. So I'm glad that you stayed till the end, and I hope you really enjoyed it. Give me a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe. And then you'll get to see something like this every week. So take care, and I'll see you soon. Ta-ra.